DDPAI.
Well, hello to you too. Today we're going to look at the DDPAI 4K Dashcam. This is kind of a neat little unit that has its own quirks, but I'll let you guys decide. And we're going to take a look at the picture off this thing. It's actually not bad for what it is, but let's check it out. What is this that I received? It looks like a Dashcam. A 4K Dashcam. Cool. Surprise, surprise. So that's what's called a tachograph. They call this a tachograph. Oh boy. It's a 4K dash camera with GPS and Wi-Fi. I can't wait to try it and see how it looks. Put it up next to my other 4K dash camera. Let's open this one up and see what's in the box. And then we're going to mount it in the car on today, which is kind of a gloomy day. And take it out and test it and see how it performs. Now, I'm shooting this portion of the video only in HD, but I will record and I will render. I'll render this out as a 4K file, and we'll do our test shooting in 4K from the camera itself. So this portion that you're watching now was being originally acquired in 1080, but we will we'll send it out in 4K at 30 frames. So here is the camera, brand new. This is the first time I've seen it. That looks cool. No screen on it. We have our power adapter, USB-C, which is good. What else do we have in here? We have our mounting bracket, which sticks to the window and can be adjusted up and down. I won't be sticking this to my window permanently, so I'll have to find another way of mounting it in the car for my test, because I want to see how it performs, right? And what do we got else? My audio seems to have gone down on my camera, but I was just describing the unit itself. We'll remove the protective cover. Has a light on the back and the USB-C power connector, and one button on the side, which is used to turn the microphone on and off and reset the camera. So as you can see, it has 64 gigs of internal memory. There is no external memory on this unit. So when you do a recording with it, you have to download it either to your phone or take the camera into your computer and plug it in via USB so that you can download your clips. Reading the instruction manual for the Mini5, it says the specifications are that it records in, looks like it records in H.265. I hope it can record in H.264 as well, because if it can't, then I won't be able to show you guys any clips, or I'd have to convert them to H.264, and there may be some quality loss doing that. But I'm going to get the app on my phone, and we'll plug this thing in and see what it does. Apply power.
Hello, DDPAI.
What did it just say? It talks.
Memory card initializing.
Okay, looks like
Memory card initialization is complete.
I guess it's running. And there's a button on here. The button, I would imagine, is to save a file.
Voice recording is off.
Okay, that turns off the sound.
Voice recording is on.
So now it should be recording the audio. So that turns on and off the microphone.
Voice recording is off.
Now it's, and I just took a picture, it looks like. Oh, the G sensor. That's what that would do. I bumped the camera. It's flashing. So if I give it any impact, it's going to lock the file. And it flashes purple when it's doing that. So now it's recording again as normal. I'll turn the sound back on.
Voice recording is on.
So we can hear what the sound quality is like from the built-in microphone. And of course, when the power is removed, it shuts off. Now, what I'm curious is it going to respond to any impacts or anything? I guess not. It doesn't have a motion detector or a G-force detector, so that if your car gets hit, it starts recording. I think these probably can all be controlled through the app. I got to download the app for this unit. So I've got the app open. I'm going to click on Add New Device, and it's a no screen dash cam. And install the device and power it on. Yes, it's on. I've got to connect it to the Wi-Fi. It's going to be, I'm going to look for it. It says keep your phone within 2 meters of the device. Connect it to the Wi-Fi. Oh, I got to go to my settings, obviously, and look for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Pretty simple password. All these cameras tend to use the same password. If I now go to the app, I can bring it up here. Okay, I'm having a problem trying to get my phone to connect, even though it tells me that I am connected to the DDPAI, or DDPAI as the unit announces when it's powered up. Even though it tells me that I am connected, I'm not able to get any traffic through it. When I bring up the app, it says bad network. Try again. So I've been messing with this software now for about half an hour. I cannot get it to connect. No matter what I try, I cannot get it to connect to my phone. My phone tells me it's connected. Says checking the quality of internet connection. And then it'll tell me I'm connected without internet, which is normal for when you're dealing with these devices.
GPS locate succeed.
Oh, it's got the GPS. It located the satellite. I just plugged this unit in. When I go back to it, when I go to try, and it says bad network, please try later. So I don't know whether this particular device is just not working or whether it's a compatibility problem with my phone, but it will not let me connect. So we're going to scrap that. It'd be nice to see what the picture looks like on the phone, because I know other dash cameras I've got, including the one that is permanently installed in my car, I can access it from my phone and look at the picture. But this one here does not appear to be working, so I'm going to actually uninstall the app, because there's no point in having the app on my phone if I can't use it. We're going to take the camera out. I'm going to do some pictures with it. We're going to show you the pictures. I'm probably going to have to convert the files over so you guys can see it. But that's we'll do that, and I'll show you guys how to do that too if you're dealing with software that does not support. I'm just forgetting this camera from my phone, because there's no point in having it trying to connect. It won't connect. Okay, so normally you would take this, and I'm not going to mount this in my car permanently, because this is not going to be staying in my car permanently, but normally you would peel the 3M tape off, stick it to the window, clean the window of course first. I'm not going to go through that step just because this is not going to be permanently in my car. I have a permanent 4K dash cam, thank you very much, But we're going to, for evaluation reasons, we're going to take this out and show you how it works. But normally you attach this to your window and you just slip the dash camera in, and it attaches by a magnet, and then you've got your USB cable, power cable, that you would have routed around and sticking down by your window, and then you just, when you get in the car, you just plug it in just like that, and your cable's ready to go. And when you turn on your car, with the adapter of course plugged into your cigarette plug or 12 volt accessory. I guess we shouldn't call it a cigarette plug anymore. Who smokes in their car these days anyway, right? They don't even put an ashtray in their car. That was a neat thing. When they took the ashtray away, I was happy, because it was always wasted space as far as I'm concerned, not being a smoker. So yeah, plug that into your 12 volt power point, route the cable around, and I was obviously not going to be doing that because it's not going to stay in my car on a permanent basis. Then when you want to take the camera out, you would just pull it out like that, and it would actually pull the plug out for you. And then the next time you put the camera in, being USB-C, you can just plug it in quickly. I got to find a place to mount this in my car on some type of a temporary attachment, and then we'll take it out. We'll take it for a test drive, and we'll look at the pictures. I'm sure it performs really well, but we're going to take it out. We're going to look at the pictures that it produces, and see what it does. I already have a 1/4 inch screw mount for like hooking another camera up in my car. So there's a little hole in the adhesive here. I'm going to drill a hole through the actual bracket so that I can screw it onto my my existing mount. There. Okay, I put a 3/16 hole in this mount just so that I can, we'll try threading this onto the existing 1/4 inch mounting stud that I've got. That way I don't have to attach it to the window. And I mean, it still could. If I sell it to somebody, it'll still attach to the window, because I'm not going to take the backing off of the 3M adhesive. I'm just going to thread it on using that hole that I just put in there, and maybe just put a small 1/4 inch nut on the bottom to hold it in place. Again, it's just for the demo, so I think we'll probably be okay for this, but that's how I'm going to attach it for the demo. So this is the mount I'm going to attach it to. I'm going to enlarge the hole ever so slightly here. Just like that. Okay, that'll screw on there quite nicely, and it's threaded in so it's not going to move. So I can attach this and then slide the camera like that, and that'll hold it on my dash. Be good enough for this test, and even good enough if I wanted to actually film with this camera, although I don't think I will be doing any travel videos with this, because more than likely, I haven't seen the output from it yet, but a lot of these companies put their logo on the screen. I don't know whether this does it yet, but it probably does, because a lot of them do, and it makes them unsuitable if you're going to make like a road trip video. So this is going to be hanging quite low for me doing the demo, but normally you would mount it up a little higher in the window, but as you can see, I've already got a couple cameras. I've already got a couple cameras in my car mounted up high in the window. That's my permanent one, and I have another one that's under test up here. So this will be the third dash cam in here right now, but basically you just take the camera and you just slide it into the bracket. It slips in very easily and locks in place with a magnet, and then apply the power cord, and it's ready to go for a test run. Okay, I've now plugged in the power cord, routed the power cord up and around, and plugged into my 12 volt power point. So we're ready to take the camera out. Next shots you'll see will be shots recorded on the camera. So to transfer the files, just take the camera and plug it in to your computer. And the computer will recognize the camera, and it'll show up as a removable drive. And here's all your files, photos, for example, any photos that you take with it. I took some pictures when I was playing around with it. Go into video, and here's all the files. What's this small for? I guess it stores maybe a small version of the video as well. It looks like it does. It stores a smaller version at a lower resolution. That's probably what gets displayed on the phone screen. What's the resolution of this one? Details of this are 1280 by 720. So it stores a 720p version of the photo of the video as well. So that's kind of interesting that it does that. What about when I was traveling here? Okay, so there's the so it stores a 720 version as well as and it does put, as I figured, it does put the information on the screen here as well. So you've got two versions of the photo. You've got a large version for the best quality, and you've got a lower resolution version for a backup file. So we go to the main ones here. I deleted all the ones that were recording in the shop. So we start out at the full resolution. And of course, playing back a 4K file over the USB is probably a little bit of a bottleneck there, but the pictures do look remarkably sharp. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these over so that we can look at the actual file. So I'm going to use WonderFox DVD converter. I know, I'm going to hear someone grumbling about this, but this software really works well for doing things like converting files. I just drag the file over that I want to convert. It's an H.265 file. I want to convert it to H.264. And I click Run. And it'll now convert that file over to a file that's compatible to be opened on Adobe Premiere, the version that I'm using of Premiere. Now, this is something that you may or may not have to do. It depends on the software that you're using to edit, if you're going to edit files from a camera like this one, or any H.265 camera for that matter. If your software doesn't support it, you got to convert it. You can do it with VLC as well, and you can use I think BBMPEG will also convert files from one file format to another. I use this one just because it's simple. It's foolproof. It'll load whatever file you load in. It doesn't care what format it's in. It'll load whatever file you're loading. You tell it what you want the output to be and hit go. And you can load multiple files and hit go, and it'll do them all at the same time. That's why I use this one. So we're going to convert these files over, and then we'll take a look at the actual video quality from the camera. So here's our first series of shots from the DDPAI 4K Dashcam. And the picture's actually looking pretty good. I'm only watching it right now in 2K because that's all I've got for a monitor here. But it looks good. I mean, it certainly has a really quite a good wide field of view. A little bit of distortion. You can see the telephone poles bending a bit there. I guess I really should put my seatbelt on, right? And I've got the mic on, but I'm not talking. I will do some recording momentarily so we can see how the sound is from the microphone that's built in. Each file is 60 seconds, so you might see a little bit of a glitch there from the handover from one file to the next. So that's not as smooth as...
locate succeed.
That's not quite as... smooth as other cameras that I've certainly looked at. Now you see it's finally acquired the GPS, and it's got my speed in, looks like miles per hour.
ADAS initialization.
The clock isn't the correct time. Obviously the time zone I haven't been able to set because I couldn't get the app to communicate with the camera to do any updates or to set the time zone. So this is out of the box. We just went through another file transition, and that one was actually good.
You turn right at this intersection. You really got to get out there to see where you're going. Pedestrians can hide in behind these posts.
I'm just going to run the camera for a few more minutes, and I'm going to let the natural sound record. I'm going to narrate this while I'm driving so you can hear the sound off the camera itself.
So if you're wondering what I like about this camera and what I don't like, because there's things everybody's going to like and dislike certain things. I guess one thing I don't like is that it does not have removable memory. That's the biggest, I think that's the biggest limitation. I'm not a fan of any device that has non-removable memory. So you'll never see me own an iPhone, ever. And I won't be considering the new Samsung Galaxy that does not have removable memory, which means I'm going to be stuck using an older device. Yes, you can get devices which have huge amounts of memory in them, but it's still a pain in the butt when you have to sit and transfer them at USB 3 speeds. It's a lot more convenient. You can just pop out your micro SD card and pop another one in. When I'm doing long travel videos, for example, I don't stop and download the content from the camera as soon as it's full. I carry around a couple spare memory cards, and as the memory card fills up, I take the card out and I put a new one in. And then I download all my memory cards when I stop for the night. Something like that you can't do with a camera like this. Although this one's not designed for recording your trip so that you can watch it later. It's designed to log your trip in the event that you're in an accident so that the footage can be preserved. So there's a difference between a camera and a dash cam. So maybe removable memory on something like this is not quite as important because of its intended purpose. Its intended purpose is just to record the events that's happening outside the car. The other downside I don't like is the fact that it doesn't have a screen. It's nice to have a screen so that you can see what your framing is like, even if you're not going to keep the screen on. My camera that I use in the car, it has a screen, but the screen turns off after 1 minute. The screen basically comes on every time the camera starts, just to show what's in the front and behind the car, and then it shuts off. And the way it's attached to the window, it sits flat, so you don't even see it. But I think having a screen there just for framing purposes is nice. Also, so that you can review it on the go. Now, you could do it through the phone, sure, if the phone app actually worked. which it wasn't working for me. That might be a bug in the app, or it could be a problem with the particular camera that I've got. It said I was connected. When I connected my phone, I got the message on my phone that I was connected, but I couldn't do anything. So either there's a problem with the camera itself, or there's a problem with the app. What I'll do is I'll try resetting the camera. There's a reset procedure. I'll try resetting the camera and see whether that solves that issue.
It didn't.
The other thing I don't like about it is it's stuck in H.265 video compression, which is the high efficiency video codec. High efficiency video compression codec. The downside to that is you can't use it on legacy equipment unless you convert the file. So the files you're seeing off this camera are files that I have converted using my conversion software.
So we're now going to take a look at the 720 files. I'll just play a couple minutes of them. They're up converted to 4K, to display in 4K, but this is the small version of the same files. As you can see, it doesn't have the 4K indicator on the screen, so it actually records two completely separate streams onto the internal memory. So these ones are good for quick sharing. If you want to post it to Facebook or whatever, right? Or show someone quickly what happened, and then still have a high quality version. Picture quality wise, look good, but as I say, there's a few things that I think need to be addressed. One is the app. The app I couldn't get to work. But other than that, it actually seems to perform okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Links in the description. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.